Hello friends, welcome to automationtested.com. My name is David and I'll be creating a series of videos on how I create an automation framework. The purpose of this video is to basically introduce the project and to introduce the various tools that I will be using. As you can see, some of the tools that I mainly have in my arsenal are Selenium Webdriver, Maven, TestNG, Log4j, and Jenkins CI, which is continuous integration. I'll attempt to use all of these tools in this project, and I will show the code as I'm progressing through this project and the various tests that I'll have. But essentially, I will be going into this store. If I click on this link here on my website, let's see, it'll take us to the demo, store demo actually. Here we go. And basically what I will be testing is this login feature. So I will be testing the login and the logout using the various locators that are best practice for using, and that is something like either the classes or the ID. And I will demonstrate that in my project and in the code. So some of the concepts that I will be using are taken directly from Dave Hefner. He's a Selenium guru. This is an excellent website. He has a couple videos, a couple slide shares out there on some of the great concepts on how to use Selenium WebDriver. And I think his style and his concepts fit perfectly with how I like to implement my automation framework. So although he does some Python and some Java, I'm gonna do most of my coding in Java, and perhaps maybe I'll convert that over to maybe C Sharp. So I'm not going to talk about that too much right now, but for the first project, I will be using Java and the IntelliJ IDE. And here you can see that I've just started the project and it's just the basics right now. So it's mainly just file new project, and this is exactly what you get for a project with using the Maven tool or the Maven type framework. So as you can see, I'll be adding my dependencies and I'll be changing these things here for the application test, and these classes are going to be basically gone. And I'll be putting in my own information, my own code, and doing my own comments, and you'll see. So this will definitely be changing. So the next thing I wanted to do was to basically just show a little bit of some of the things that I wanted to show of what Dave Hefner has to offer. I'm not a spokesman for him. I just, like I said, I like his concepts, and these are some of the concepts that I like to use for my automation. So defining the strategy, so as I've mentioned before, I will be looking to test the login feature. We're going to assume that's the highest priority, or a change has happened, and that's what's on our plate for testing. So I'll be creating the test for that. Also the logout and whatnot. I might consider the whole page, but we'll get to that later. And as I mentioned, the programming language, I will be using Java with IntelliJ. See this other concept here that he mentions. Oh, it's about using Selenium fundamentals. He actually likes to keep it simple, so don't try not to create or try not to use locators that can be fragile in different instances. So stick with classes and IDs, and if you have to use a CSS or XPath, if you really need to. And then these two classes and IDs are not available. Um, Writing the first tests. So yeah, when you're doing your testing, you're gonna have to write your first test. Um, but more so, it's just writing the test to see how it works, right? And then after you see that it works and there is no optimization at this point, we're going to go to the next step, which is basically optimizing and kind of abstracting the various, I should say, the various layers like data and the various tests from the particular. We're basically gonna, how should we say, decouple a lot of the different parts of the tests. Let's see, and of course this will make our test resilient, so that also we might incorporate things like, let's see, um, like explicit waits. Try not to use, the thread.sleep, which is frowned upon. I guess for testing it might be good, but in the long run it's not something we really want to do, and we want to stick to something abstracted with explicit waits. And I'll demonstrate something that Dave Hefner has actually showed in one of his videos. Packaging your test into a framework. So I'll be using TestNG and, like I said, various parts of other frameworks, like I said, Maven. Um, yeah, and I'll also be using the log4j for actually logging in some of this information. Maven actually provides some logging, but I wanted to just demonstrate some of the login information from log4j. And then adding a cross-browser functionality. I'm not sure if I'm really going to get into that for this particular project because it's kind of small, but probably for that reason I don't really want to get into grid at this point. Nonetheless, it is fairly easy to implement, and we'll get to that in a future video. And then building an automated feedback loop. So for this particular concept that Dave Hefner was talking about, he's basically talking about having like a continuous integration like Jenkins, where it lets you see the feedback immediately on a particular test case. If there was a change to some functionality, do we have immediate feedback if it passed or if it failed? And is it automated? With Jenkins, you can have these automated polling features implemented, so it makes life really easy, and you can quickly see if there's something failing, and you can quickly rectify that situation. And then finding information on your own. The web is filled with a lot of information. There's a lot of information on Selenium and Selenium Webdriver and Java and whatnot. So I mean, there's even let's see. Oh, that website escapes me, and I'm continuously using. But Stack Overflow. There we go. Stack Overflow is a great place to get information as well. So find information from wherever you can. So going back to what I was talking about with this project, I will be going into the store. I will be creating a login. Go with a good login and an incorrect login, and we'll make these tests as atomic as possible. So every test is only testing one particular thing. That's another concept that David, among others, in automation, try to convey, is to just try to test one thing when you're testing these different pages. With that said, I'll come back on a second video and see where we're at with this particular code and this particular screen. Like I said, I'll be filling out a lot of this information with my own, and I'll be cleaning this up, and we'll take it from there. Talk to you later.